Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Anthea for Duo Pilates and we are going to do a nice little feel-good stretch for you today. So to start with, we'll need a roller and a knee pad. If you don't have a knee pad, you can grab a cushion or something soft like a rolled up towel or something from home. So just grab your equipment and then we're going to start by sitting or laying down on the roller. So I want you to lay down all the way. Just support yourself down. So you should have from the top of your head down to your tailbone supported by this roller. And you're going to have your feet at hip or shoulder distance apart. So they are a little bit apart. Knees are at that same distance. And we can just take the arms by the sides. Good, just with your palms facing up. So nothing too dramatic here. And just for our first few breaths, I want you to start to feel your shoulders getting nice and heavy, feeling your face relax. You can close the eyes here, softening your forehead, your cheeks. And we're going to just monitor each part of the body that is down on that roller, and we want it all to become really nice, really heavy. And we'll just breathe here. You can start to monitor your breath, so we're going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and trying to make each one of those exhales a little bit longer than your breath in. Good, and then let's just bring some particular focus to your shoulders. So I want you to draw your shoulders away from your ears so we don't feel them creeping up the neck. And then we don't really have to move them, but I just want you to think. Imagine that your shoulders were just falling away. We're really opening around that roller. And we're just completely and utterly relaxed. So we're not holding any tension anywhere across the front of your chest, across the collarbones, the shoulders, the neck. It's all nice and soft. Let's take another 5 breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Beautiful. We can open the eyes. I'm just going to get you to reach both hands up towards the ceiling here with your palms facing in. Now we're reaching the fingers really nice and long. So we have energy from your shoulders all the way up the arms to the fingers, and your gaze is just following where those fingers are reaching up to the ceiling. Now we're going to breathe in, and as you breathe in, I want you to lift your shoulders. So you're really reaching as if you're trying to touch that ceiling. Draw the shoulders up and off of the roller. On your exhale breath, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to fold the shoulders down, rounding them around that roller. You might feel your hands come a little bit wider. We breathe in to reach. And we breathe out to drop those shoulders, hugging the roller with your back, with your shoulder blades. Let's go for another 5, just like that. 4, we try to stay still through the rest of your body so your belly button can be drifting in towards your spine here. Those feet are heavy on the mat. We've got our last 2. Your last 1. We reach up, breathe in, dropping back, breathe out, turn your palms towards your feet. Good, so now your shoulders are away from your ears, but they're hugging around that roller. We're going to bring both hands up above the head. Inhale. Exhale, hands travel wide, snow angel, all the way down, pinky fingers reaching for your hips. We're going to breathe in as your hands come wide and your thumbs reach towards each other. Breathing out, hands come down. Breathing in, hands come up. Let's go for another 4 like that. 4. 3. 2. Last one, we're going to keep your right hand down here. We'll reach the left arm up, so your arms are reaching opposite ways. Really try to get some length from your fingertips of your left hand down to your fingertips of your right. So we're reaching both away. We breathe in, we breathe out as we swap. Now you keep your palms facing up the whole time here. And I want you to really think about reaching as wide as you can while we come around from side to side. So we go all the way out. Really nice and wide. Beautiful. Let's go for 3 more. For 2. 1. We're going to reach both arms up, and then we're bending through the elbows until your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Hands are still reaching back above you, so up towards where the top of your head is sitting. We have the shoulders away from your ears, and now you're feeling that really nice chest opening stretch. And we'll breathe here for 4. 3, just like before, we let everything soften. 2. And 1. We're going to turn your hands down so they're on the floor. Good, and we're just going to spend a couple of breaths here. You might feel like the blood is rushing around in your arms. We just let everything settle. Beautiful. And we're going to bring yourself up off of that roller now. So I want you to come to stand on your mat. We're going to move the roller off to the side for a moment. And you're just standing with your feet at hip distance apart, your 10 toes pointing out ahead of you. Arms are dropped by your side. Now we're still thinking about that open chest, so I don't want your shoulders to be rolled forwards here. We're really opening up, setting the shoulder blades down and back, drawing belly in so you have hips, shoulders and ears all stacked. We breathe in here. Let's tuck the chin. And as you breathe out, we're going to start to roll forward, keeping the knees soft, like you're deflating here. So we come all the way down into your forward fold. We breathe in, holding this forward fold. Keep your chin tucked, your eyeline is on your knees, your crown of your head is reaching. And we breathe out to unwind, coming all the way up to your standing. Chin stays tucked until the last moment when we look out ahead. Let's breathe in, tuck the chin. And we breathe out, rolling all the way down. This time we're going to hold for the base. So I want you to just move your weight forward and back. So from your heels to your toes, back to your heels, back to the toes. It's a nice gentle shift here. And remember, we're just not locked out of those knees, so you don't have to have a huge bend, but you don't want your legs to be locked in their straight position. Good, now you're going to bend your knees enough that you can get your hands onto the floor, and we'll just look at those hands. We draw the belly button in, breathe in here. As you breathe out, you're going to walk your hands away from your legs. Hands come to shoulder distance apart, send your hips high. Your ears are between your arms here, and I want you to think about your lower back in particular. So what I mean is, we don't want your bottom to be rounded here so that you're creating a dome through your spine. And we don't want our shoulders and our ears and your arms to be out of alignment. So if you feel like you've shifted forward here to compensate and you're really feeling nice and tight through the legs, I want you to increase the bend through your legs, press into your hands, bring your ears between those arms, and almost like you're sticking your bottom up here. Think about that length of the lower back. So what we're aiming for is a nice long spine. And your legs can be in whatever shape they need to be to accommodate that length of the spine. From here, we're going to press into your 10 fingers, press into your 10 toes, and then we'll drop one knee forward before we swap over to the other leg. So coming into your walking the dog or pedaling the knees, whatever you call it, as we shift the weight from one side to the other. Good, keep breathing here. Wonderful, we'll go for another 5. Press those fingertips. 4, press the toes. 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring both knees down. Shift your weight forward, taking your knees onto the floor. We're walking your hands forward to the front of your mat. And then you're going to keep your hips high as you send your chest down. Forehead can rest on the floor if you can reach. Coming into your puppy pose here. It's a nice big stretch through the chest. We keep drawing belly button in. Good, relax your feet. We'll hold for 4, 3, 2, on 1. We're going to bring your hands back, taking your hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're going to breathe in as you round through your spine. So imagine someone had a piece of string attached to the midpoint in your spine, and they were lifting that string. You tuck your chin, looking at the belly button. As we breathe out, we're going to roll from the base of your spine, shoulders down and back, lift the chin, belly drops towards the floor. So we breathe in to round, tuck the chin, eye line to belly button. We breathe out, rolling through. Good, let's go for 3 more like that. Now I want you to let this movement start at your tailbone, knowing that you can make this as extreme or as minimal as you'd like. Breathing in and out. As we breathe out, make sure you're drawing those shoulders away from your ears. As you breathe in, you're pressing your hands into the floor. Good. Next time you go here, we're going to just add a little bit of extra movement. So you can start to take your hips maybe to one side and then down to the other as we move from our cat to our cow. Or you can go for some circles through the wrists. Really just make this into your own. And just keep that breath moving in and out. Good, have some fun with it here. There is really, really no right or wrong when we're in this crazy cat stretch. Just moving however feels right for you at this point. Let's go one more. And out. Good, and we'll send ourselves all the way down into your child's pose here. Now, options for child's pose, you've either got hands out ahead of you, you can have hands reaching through your knees. So then your fingers are reaching for your toes. I quite like this one. You're welcome to keep your forehead grounded, or you can turn your head from one side to the other after every few breaths or after a couple of minutes. Again, another option here is to have the hands on the outside of the knees. This can be quite a gentle one for your shoulders. So just going with whatever feels good for you at this point. And we're going to spend a few breaths here. Beautiful. And we can bring ourselves up. Now you're going to turn to the short end of your mat, or to the long end of your mat. So you've got your body turned towards this long end, and we're going to come into a nice hip stretch. So this is quite a strong hip stretch here. You will need your knee pads or your blankets or towels, whatever you're using. So you can just grab onto those now. I've only got the one, but if you've got two or two blankets, get two. So you're just going to have one underneath each of your knees here. You want to bring your knees out to a width that feels okay for you. So a little bit wider than where we would usually place them. You're going to take a look at your feet and have your feet in line with your knees here. So whatever width your knees are at, your feet are going to be mirroring that width there as well. Now you want to keep your hips forward so that they're not sending your bum back towards your heels. We want a straight line, making a nice little frog shape out of our body. You're going to lean forward here. You can stay on hands. If you can reach down onto your elbows, you're welcome to do that. If we're on our elbows, I want you to think about your shoulders drawing away from your ears. Your gaze is just looking beneath you, so we keep that chin nicely tucked. And you're welcome to start by having a little bit of drifting movement backwards and forwards here. Again, keep the shoulders drawn down and back. Keep your belly button drawn in, so we're protecting the lower back, protecting our lower part of our spine with the core. And then once you find a point that feels for you like that is the edge of your stretch, or maybe the deepest point of your stretch from this position, we're going to hold there. We're going to spend about 10 breaths here. And we'll go through our first few breaths together, just so that we can all be in the same timing. So I don't want you to be rushing through these breaths. So let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. We hold. And we breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. We breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. We hold. And we breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. We breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. And we breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, you keep that neck long. If you've got something at home like a block, you can support your head on that if it begins to get heavy. We keep the shoulders rolled down and really trying to relax the feet. Now your feet, if you've got them pointed, that's okay. If you do want something a little bit extra, you can flex the feet out to the sides of the room. But it's completely up to you with those feet. We are halfway through our breath, so we've got 5 more breaths. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. We're going to take your hands onto the mat, and we're just going to bring your feet in first, and then we'll bring those knees in and stay facing the way that you're facing now. Just let your body come down, a little bit of a ball, little hug here, and really try to soften through the legs. So we're relaxing and just letting the muscles release from where we've just given them a nice stretch. Beautiful. Now we're going to bring yourself up. We'll have the knee pad here underneath your right knee, and you're going to take your left foot forward so that it's pointing out to the side. Your right foot is pointing straight out behind you here. So we've got a double 90 degree out of both of those legs. 90 degrees down and back with your right leg, 90 degrees out and down with your left, which means that your heel is directly underneath your knee here to start with. Now I want you to turn your toes out, but we keep the hips facing forward. So we're not turning your body over towards the window or over towards whatever you've got on that side of your room. We keep the hips shifted forward, open here. If this feels too strong, you can turn the angle of your foot in slightly. That's going to take away some of that extra rotation there, an extra stretch. Now I want you to be squeezing your bottom where we are. So we're already squeezing the glutes just a little bit to keep those hips facing forward. Let's soften the shoulders. You can keep left hand on left knee. I'm going to breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to press your bum forward, and we're drifting your knee forward over that angle of your foot. So it comes over the toes. We're going to come back and back through the hips. So it's like you move forward and then shift down. To breathe in, we come back and then shift your bottom back. We squeeze the hips forward and down, coming up and back. Try to relax your back foot, but we keep pressing the toes of your left foot into the floor here to stabilize. We're going to go for 3 more. Your hips should stay open the whole time. So I find it helps to keep your hips forward if you're looking out ahead of you here rather than looking over towards your knee. Good. We're going to hold at the base of this next one. So we bring ourselves forward and down. You're squeezing your bum. So squeezing those glutes, pressing the hips forward. Our knee is drifting in line with your toes, and we're going to keep that knee drawn back. So we don't let your left knee roll in here. We want that left knee to be rolled back. You're going to feel this lovely opening through the front of your hips as we squeeze the bottom. Let's hold here for 4, 3, 2, on 1. I'm going to get you to come back just slightly. Send your bottom backwards. We'll take hands onto the floor. We're going to flex that left foot, and you can press it out away from you. Now we're really flexing your foot, so you're drawing your toes back towards you, and you're going to feel this stretch coming down the back of your left leg. And from here, I just want you to drift your weight forwards and back. So we're sending your weight back and then taking it forwards into your hands. Good, and we keep drawing the belly button in towards your spine as we're here. Let's go for 2. And for 1. Beautiful. Now we're going to take your weight back slightly. I want you to take your hand, your right hand that is, in line with your right knee. We're going to pick up that right foot and rotate it forwards and just send your bottom back. So you'll end up seated with your right foot in at the left thigh. Now I want you to be seated through both sides of your bottom here, so we don't have the left hip lifted, so you're resting onto the right. We want to be down through both sides of your bum. We're turning the body here from the waist, so you keep your hips where they are, and then leaning down towards that left leg. Good, and we're having nice deep breaths here. Staying heavy through your right hip. We don't lift it as we go. Beautiful. We're going to gently roll yourself up, taking the soles of the feet together. And we're sitting right up tall here. So if you need to have a little bit of extra height underneath your bottom, you can sit on that towel or a little bit of softness that you've got. Maybe you've got a knee pad like me, and it's just going to prop your lower back up and allow you to sit forward here like you're almost sticking your bottom out. We're not rounding through that lower part of your spine. With your knees nice and wide, keeping that lower part long, I want you to lean with your belly button forward. Just shifting that weight nice and gently. So we don't have to be really pulling yourself down here. You don't even have to be rounding too much through the upper back. I just want you to really think about your belly, leaning forward and keeping that belly button drawn in towards your spine. Again, that's just assisting our lower back, supporting the lower back. And we breathe here, soften through the shoulders. Beautiful. We can bring yourself back up to your tall seated. We're going to take your hands, so don't move your legs just yet. Use your hands here. We're using the arms to pick up the legs and hug them together. Have a little squeeze. And then we'll take those hands behind you on the floor. And we're going to roll both knees over to one side. We'll lift and we're going to roll those knees over to the other side. Let's do that again. Good, last time here from one side to the other, we come up and over, and we come up and back. Beautiful, and we'll come through to center. Now you're gonna move your knee pad so that we can take the left knee onto that knee pad. Your right knee comes out just towards the front edge of your mat here, toes pointing straight out ahead of you. So again, it's that double 90-degree hip stretch. You've got 90 degrees coming down and back with your left leg, 90 degrees coming out and straight down with your right. We're squeezing the bottom forward here, so it's like you're bringing your pubic bone towards your rib cage. We don't want to have our bum sticking out behind us, putting pressure on the lumbar spine. So it's the opposite. We tuck the pelvis forward, big squeeze of the glutes. Tummy draws in, so you've got that connection between your ribs and your hips. Core is strong. We can rest right hand onto right knee. Drop the shoulders. On your next natural exhale breath, thinking of knee coming in line with your toes, we drift forward, squeeze the hips forward here. Good, we're gonna inhale to come back and back through the hips. So your hips come forward and reach, keep your knee reaching over those toes. Good, we come back and back. Exhale. And inhale. Really try to squeeze the bottom here. You'll feel this stretch coming through the front of your hips. Good, we're gonna go for another 2, well done. Last one, we're going to hold at the base. Beautiful. While we hold here, we're squeezing the bottom. We're keeping this right knee back in line with your toes. So we're not letting it drift forward, opening through those hips. Let's hold for 4, for 3, 2, tummy in, 1. We're going to press up. Take your fingers to the floor, flexing your foot. We come out along with that right leg. And then we're going to shift your weight forwards and back here. Good, keeping the hips square forward. So my hips haven't changed in rotation. I'm not rotating towards that leg. We're still forward through the hips. And you'll feel that stretch a little bit more. Beautiful. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take your left hand in line with your left knee. We pick up that left foot, send your bottom back. Taking left foot onto the inside of your right thigh. We're going to turn towards your right leg, reaching down that leg. Beautiful. We're heavy through both of your hips here, so your left side of your bottom has not lifted. That left knee is staying wide. Beautiful, and we'll bring yourself up. You're going to take your feet onto the floor in front of you, a little bit wider than your hips. Take your hands by your hips, pressing yourself up and into your yogi squat here. So our heels are slightly more internal than the toes. You've got your elbows on the inside of those knees, and we're just going to shift your weight from right to left. Good, now the back of our neck is long, so your gaze should be on the floor just out ahead of you here. I want you to press down through your 10 toes. If you feel like you need something a little bit taller underneath your heels, you're welcome to pop something under your heels to give you a little bit of extra support here. We draw the tummy in, shoulders down and back. We're going to go here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, well done, 2, and 1. We're going to take your hands onto the floor, lengthen those legs, big stretch down the back of those legs, keep your knees soft. Let your chin tuck, we breathe in, just having a little bit of a wriggle through those knees, maybe lifting the heels and planting them back down. Turn your toes forward. And again, we'll just have a little bit of a rock like we started with, but maybe a bit more extreme. So you can even just gently lift the heels, gently lift the toes. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bend the knees and gently roll all the way up into your standing. That is the end of our little feel-good stretch here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again in a later video. Thanks.